down by the whistle post, and you'll notice now he's going to blow the whistle 4 times. 2 longs, a short and a long. And then he's going to attempt to do the same thing for the next crossing. Now, in some cases, like in Robinson, Newton is a good example, the crossings are so close together, there's just no possible way that you could get 4 good whistles from one crossing to the next. So the train crews just do the very best they can. Palestine, there's a crossing every 300 feet. I think in Robinson, it's something like every 600 feet. But either way, Sean's doing a fantastic job warning the pedestrians and vehicles that are coming. So the crossing signals, you can see them flashing here. Let's talk a little bit about the crossing signals and how they work, okay? Has anyone ever seen the crossing signals flashing and there's just no train to be found anywhere, right? They just seem to be malfunctioning. You don't count. You're not allowed to vote. There's a very good reason why that happens. Cross street. The crossing signals have a fail-safe mode. Kind of like when you're driving in your vehicle and you come up to traffic lights and the traffic lights are just flashing red and there's no particular reason why, they just seem to be broke. They go into a fail-safe mode and they start flashing. The crossing signals do the same thing. They have computers in this little bungalow right here, and the computers are constantly monitoring the health of the crossing signals, and if anything were to go wrong with them and they were to fail any of those self-tests, it will do the safest thing it knows, activate the signals, put the gates down, and it'll stay like that until somebody comes out to fix it. If you ever find that condition, let the railroad know. We have signal maintainers available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we will very quickly come out and address what's going on. And usually within an hour or so, the situation is resolved.
Hey Josh, how do you let the railroad know?
Just 1 second here. We got to get over one more crossing.
Was that in your script too?
There we go. I almost heard you.
So how do you let the railroad know that the crossing is malfunctioning?
So there are new ENS, I say new, they're probably, 5 years old now. Anyway, on the way back, I'm going to show you on the screen, this gentleman here has some cards that he's going to pass out. He's from the Federal Railroad Administration, and he's going to talk a little bit about that. Each railroad crossing has its own unique address, kind of like your home address, right? Every one of them has its own unique number, and if there's a problem at the crossing, and you'll see on this card he's passing out, there's a small blue sign. You can call the number on that sign and let someone know that the crossing signals seem to be malfunctioning, they need to address the problem.
Take your screens
And so, right.
You're standing alone now. Now we're going to see what you really made up.
Got the TV turned off. What do you know? We're having all kinds of problems with this thing. This house. Did you? Thank you.
So, I just wanted to help alleviate, I guess, if there were any questions about the track circuits. They do normally run less than 3 volts, and it's normally, depending on the length and track conditions, it could be a couple amps. So it's there. However, it's not something that's going to just kill you if you go out and touch the railroad track.
Levi, what would be a situation where you recommend somebody grab the rail? Name a situation.
Never.
There you go. Somebody will never have to worry about your whole life if you don't grab the rail.
That's right. So they're perfectly safe to walk directly across so that you can get from one side to the other as long as you look both ways and the way is clear. They're not going to kill you. The rail won't. The train might. The movement is right.
Levi's portion of the presentation is very dark.
So, also with crossings, some of them are still computers. Some of them are actually old school relays. If you think way back in the day, they weren't wrong when that the same technology that's been railroading for hundreds of years, it still works, still might change. So, hey, you got fans. He waved. Yes. So, I guess should I do my quick briefing on the while I got the mic. So I handed out those cards with the blue emergency notification system sign on them, the ENS sign, as we call them in the industry, or as most people just refer to them as the blue signs at every crossing. So those signs are required by federal law to be installed at every public road crossing in America. The serial number on them is 6 digits and a letter. That is unique to that particular crossing, and that inventory is controlled by the federal government. That way, every railroad falls into it, so that you don't have the same serial number at multiple crossings. With that being said, the phone number on the blue sign on the little handout that I gave you is just an example of one particular railroad. Please don't call that number if you're stuck at a crossing. Call the number on the actual railroad crossing itself. Every railroad has their own unique phone number. It rings into their trouble desk. That's normally either a police officer or dispatcher. And if it is a police officer, they have a quick phone call to the dispatcher. That way those trains can be stopped if there's an emergency at the crossing. That's also the best way to let them know if the crossing is activated and there's no trains because of a variety of different malfunctions. As he mentioned, railroad crossings are designed by law to always go fail-safe.
That was close.
Was it a deer?
Yeah, we got fans.
All right, well, there's one.
That was
There's
close.
one.
That was close.
Yeah, so that is what it is. So, like I said, with the blue signs, they are at every crossing. They're also at the private crossings, but for the most part, your everyday life is going to deal with the public crossings. If they are not there, then normally that's when the railroad needs to be notified so that they can hang up new ones. In addition to the train whistle that you are hearing, at some crossings, there is no train whistle. Those are in what we call quiet zones. They're train horn exclusion zones. And so there is regulation that governs how to get those exceptions. But many communities do go through and they implement quiet zones. And so while here on, you guys don't have it, right? Effingham's the closest. So we're not going to go through any quiet zones, so you're going to hear the train whistle at every crossing. But please note, as you travel through different communities, that does exist. So there are